Welcome all you awesome sports fanatics. This is Tim Reynolds Show, and we're going over the NFC South and the 2024 offseason and their draft needs as we head into the draft later this month. So, of course, if you guys haven't noticed, I'm a pretty big Bucs fan, so that's who we're going to start out with. The reigning, defending NFC South champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers, baby. So, as notable players that are no longer with the team traded away cornerback Carlton Davis to the Lions. Also, center Ryan Jensen finally retired, and I want to give him some flowers, give him some mad respect, and say thank you, Ryan, for being such a competitive center for us, especially on that Super Bowl run. Hope your knee gets better, man, and I hope you enjoy retirement, brother. As far as noble other guys, linebacker Devin White did not re-sign with the team. He signs a deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, edge rusher Shaq Barrett was let go and released as he signs a deal with the Miami Dolphins. So those are just a few players that are no longer with the team. As far as guys we were able to get this offseason, I really like the moves that my team, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, were able to make, man. They re-signed Baker Mayfield to a big contract extension for 3 years. They were also able to get Mike Evans on a 2-year extension. Thank you. One of the best Buccaneers of all time, dude. Not only that, linebacker Lavonte David was able to re-sign on a 1-year deal. This is a huge re-signing for me too as well. One of the most, if not the most, underrated linebacker in the whole entire league. Lavonte David comes back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to lead that defense. We also got safety Antoine Winfield. I know they're working on a contract extension. I haven't heard any news on that front whatsoever, but they have him right now on the franchise tag. They also brought back safety Jordan White. He comes away from the Jets after the past couple of years, comes back to help that secondary out, like that 2-year deal. We also got kicker Chase McLaughlin re-signed on a 3-year extension, and then also brought in offensive guard Ben Branson, and also a couple of moves that we've made recently. Edge rusher Randy Gregory comes in on a free agent deal, and then we re-signed defensive lineman William Golston. So welcome back, William. I think this is a really, really good move for this team. We kept a lot of guys in-house, so we were able to get some really good deals. I feel like Jason Light was working his magic, and I think these guys are going to really be able to compete next year. Oh, and I got to mention too, we also signed a couple of corners. Bryce Hall and Tavarius Thomas were also a couple of cornerbacks we were able to sign. So that secondary is going to be looking a lot different, but a lot better, I think, next year. And hopefully we'll be able to compete and get this division win again for the Tampa Bay Bucs. As far as their rankings last year, they ranked 17th in passing and 32nd in rushing totals. So they got to get that rushing game back up to par this upcoming season and get that out of those 30s and low 20s, or high 20s, I should say. You want to be able to get back up in the top 15 as far as rushing the ball and get a little bit better in the passing game. Hopefully Baker Mayfield will be able to improve on his last season's performance, especially the offensive line. I'd love to see them improve a little bit better so that way their running game improves, obviously. And then on defense, our passing was 29th and our rushing defense was 5th. So always pretty good in rushing as far as Todd Pole's defense goes. So with all these pieces we were able to get in this free agency period, I really do think that the secondary is going to be a lot better than it was last year. As far as draft needs that Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be looking for on draft night, they're looking at edge rusher, cornerback and safety, linebacker, and also interior offensive lineman. So it really looks like they're going to probably be more defensive focused in this draft, but don't rule out some surprise moves here and there from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I've been hearing a lot of rumbles about it, and honestly, they might go surprise some people in the first couple of rounds, but they'll be probably focused more on defense and interior offensive linemen for the most part in the draft. Next we move on to is the Atlanta Falcons. Now they have a new head coach in Raheem Morris, another former Tampa Bay Buccaneer coach. So good luck to Raheem and the new regime there for Atlanta. So as notable players that are no longer with the team, starting quarterback Desmond Ridder was traded away to the Arizona Cardinals. Offensive guard Matt Hennessy is no longer with the team. Wide receivers Matt Holland and Van Jefferson and Scotty Miller. Also wide receiver running back Cordell Patterson were all let go. So was tight end Gianno Smith and defensive line Clarius Campbell, and a few other defensive pieces were also let go from the team. As far as the guys they were able to get this free agency period, QB Kirk Cousins signs one of the biggest free agent contracts with 4 years, $180 million, man. What a big deal for him. Wide receiver Rondale Moore was also acquired via the trade that they traded Desmond Ridder to Arizona, and were able to get him in return. And they were also able to get wide receiver Darnell Mooney signed on a 3-year deal. So not a whole lot of moves here for the Atlanta Falcons, but I do think with the new head coach that they're going to have, they're going to be a lot more competitive than they have been in the last couple of seasons. So we'll see what happens. As far as their rankings last year, they ranked 23rd in passing offense and 9th in rushing offense. So got to have to see if they're going to be able to improve that passing game and keep that rushing game up to consistently like they have the past couple of years. As far as their defense, they ranked 8th in passing defense, and in rushing defense, they ranked 20th. So not too bad defense overall. I do think with Raheem Morris being the head coach, that defense is more than likely going to get better. So we'll see if the Atlanta Falcons are going to be able to compete with this division next year. Next team up is the Carolina Panthers. Yeah, a lot of moves made this offseason for the Panthers, man. Notable players that are no longer with the team. They traded away edge rusher Brian Burns to the New York Giants. Also traded away cornerback Deontay Jackson to the Pittsburgh Steelers. In return, they got wide receiver Deontay Johnson, wide receiver from the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the bigger trades, I think, in this offseason. They're also to get cornerback Shaquille Griffin and wide receiver DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault those guys are no longer with the team. They were let go. Also, safety Von Bell and Jeremy Chin were let go. Notable guys they were able to get in free agency period. I already mentioned the trade acquisition of wide receiver Deontay Johnson from Pittsburgh. They were also able to get offensive guard Robert Hunt signed to a huge 5-year, $100 million deal for him. Offensive guard Damian Lewis also signs a big 4-year deal for the team. Defensive tackle Sean Robinson signs a 3-year deal. Safety Jordan Fuller signs on a 1-year deal, and DN Javian Clowney gets a 2-year deal. So new team pretty much coming up for Carolina next year, man. I really do think they made a lot of big moves in this free agency period. Will they pan out? I'm not sure as far as those offensive pieces they were signing, but I do like the ones they made on defense, and I really do think that this team's going to be pretty competitive next year. So as far as their rankings last year, I don't really need to say much, man. They were pretty low in all offensive categories, and as far as their defense goes, though, they were ranked 3rd in passing defense and 23rd in rushing. So, but they have a new head coach now, new old coaching staff, so I don't know what this is going to mean for this Carolina Panther team going forward. But as far as their draft needs go, they're going to be looking at wide receiver, tight end, cornerback, edge rusher, and defensive tackle. So it looks like maybe they might go a little more offense than defense, especially with all of the defensive players they were able to get in free agency. But you never know. Carolina could be a wild card here to see what happens with them. Now, last we're going over the New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints, as far as players they no longer have that were let go or not re-signed, quarterback Jameis Winston, wide receiver Michael Thomas, tight end Jimmy Graham, offensive tackle Cameron Irving, defensive lineman Malcolm Roach, and safety Marcus May. Now, as notable guys that they were able to sign in the free agency period, not a lot of moves here, but safety Tyrann Mathieu signed a 2-year extension with the team to stay with the team. Also, linebacker DeMar Davis also signs a 2-year extension to stay with the team. They got a linebacker Willie Gay Jr. on a 1-year deal in free agency. I really do like that pickup for them. And also, edge rusher Chase Young signs a 1-year deal, and wide receiver Cedric Wilson signs a 2-year deal. So not too bad here. The Chase Young signing links, I think he'll be playing later in the season rather than beginning because of the neck injury that he has. But as far as their rankings last year, the New Orleans Saints ranked 11th in passing offense, 21st in rushing offense. So middle of the pack. I do think they're probably going to be a competitive team next year, but who really knows? I do like the fact that they re-signed a lot of their key pieces, their veteran guys, to keep that team kind of whole and be able to just still have that camaraderie together that they've had for the past couple of seasons. As far as their defensive rankings, they ranked 10th in passing defense and ranked 22nd in rushing defense. So again, not too bad, more middle of the pack. So they're hoping to just improve on those things. Now, as far as their draft needs go, offensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback, defensive tackle, and linebacker are going to be some of the big ones they're going to be looking at in the draft this year. It'll be interesting to see what moves they're able to make if they're going to be able to improve that offense or that defense. Because like I said, the ratings show they're kind of middle of the pack. So how much more up and down are they going to be at the start or the beginning of next season? We'll have to wait and see what happens after the draft and as we get closer to training camp. So guys, this has been NFC South offseason review 2024 as we head into the 2024 NFL draft. I hope you guys liked the show. Please leave a comment, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and thank you for all the support, guys, and all my Buccaneers fans out there. Are you ready for the reigning, defending Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get that 3rd in a row division title, baby? Hell yeah! And if you know what it's saying, give me a hell yeah! Hell yeah! That's right, baby. Thank you, everybody, for all the support. Hope y'all have a great day. Peace out.